Man, what a great first half of the season. And of course, knowing how it is, we did struggle before the All-Star break, but I think we have really found ourselves at a good, vulnerable situation. We're a second half team. There's a couple teams that we still got to face that are good teams. We still got to face the Dodgers twice. We still got to face the Mets, the Rays again, the Yankees still, and the Red Sox are just coming up. So there's a lot to get to. But of course, this video touches on the first half of the season, and these will be all my player grades on each of the starting players, of course. So we have a lot to get to. On with the show.
Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now. About now. About now. About now.
What is poppin', y'all? It is your man, Cloudboy Bells. Welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports. I apologize. I've been taking this summer to just relax and try to, get myself in order. I haven't made videos because, and thinking about it, it's like the Packers season is already underway. Training camp just started, so pretty soon I'll be having to make videos on the Packers. And I haven't really made videos on anything. I haven't even made compilation videos. I used to be so into that, and I've been just so focused on this summer on doing all this other stuff. I completely apologize to all my viewers. I didn't know, but I actually gained subscribers in the last month, so I didn't even know this. So I gotta start making more videos. I gotta talk Brewers. I mean, this is my hometown team. I haven't been to much games. I want to keep going to more games. I'm a big fan of this team so far. However, I think they have the team that they can win a World Series? I don't think so. But however, I think we are a huge sleeper team. And if I think we have the pieces that we can win a World Series, yeah, I think we'll have to make trades for sure. But, of course, pretty soon I'll be making a trade video. But this video is going to be my first half player grades. So without further ado, here we go. We got a lot of players to go through. Also, I'm not going to count any players like relief pitchers that don't really mean a lot, or players that are minor leaguers or stuff like that. These are going to be people and key contributors for this team this year. So I'll go from A to Z and just go for that. So first off, we have Willy Adames. So, of course, we got him in the trade last year where we sent some people to Tampa Bay to get Willy Adames. I'll say this. He's averaging, he was barely hitting over 200. Now I think he's 215, 216 now. It was about 220. I guess I get it. Batting averages aren't the best, but OPS is going a little bit down. He missed him, and he's actually for the NL, he has the most home runs. He's got 20 right now. And also he actually ranks 9th in WAR among all shortstops in baseball. He actually is tied for 3rd in outs above average. That's a great thing that you'd like to see. And, despite missing 3 weeks on the IL, he was able to do all that. Of course, the hitting, his batting average, obviously, I think is what left him out of the All-Star game. He hit the home runs that he needed to, but the problem was he just wasn't hitting the ball good enough. And, of course, that's why Trey Turner and Dansby Swanson got the nod, because they're both hitting over 300, if I'm correct. But obviously, Adames is a huge contributor, and he is one of the best players on this team. If I had to pick some letter grades, I'm going to give him a B+. I definitely think, I want to see more hitting the ball, but I feel like his batting average is probably going to stay the same pretty much for the rest of the season. I don't think it's going to really change. But, of course, he's still a huge contributor, and he's hitting home runs, so that's a good thing. Next up, we have Aaron Ashby. So, of course, if you haven't heard the news, well, we signed him to 5-year extension. Obviously, we have him for 2027, and then also 2028 and 2029 are both opt-out deals. So, he is a huge future prospect. It's been a mixed bag this season for him. He's occasionally struggled on command. He walks over 4 batters in 9 innings. He still gets strikeouts, and he still has the dominant fashion that I seen from him last year, but he obviously can't go deep. And there have been games where he'll do super great things, and then later on he'll just struggle. Now, his record is like 2-8. A lot of those losses were in relief, so I'm not going to give him too much hate right now. But of course, the last loss that he had was a game where we lost 2-0, and it was actually like his best start. So to be honest, I really want to see him do more, and I know I can see more out of him, but I'm going to give him a C+, just because he's had some moments where he struggled. However, there are moments where he is there. Next up, we have Corbin Burnes. Well, there's nothing else I can really say, but he definitely deserves an A. I mean, he is one of the best pitchers in baseball. I mean, he's got an ERA, I think is 2.30 now, something like that. He's got so many strikeouts. I think right now he has 160 strikeouts, if I am correct. That's almost, I believe, is the top. It's the top in baseball this year. I mean, he's climbing the charts. I mean, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. Definitely, I think he'll be a candidate for Cy Young this year. I'm very happy. He's pitched at least 6 innings in 15 of his 18 starts, and I think he definitely will be amongst the front runners for the Cy Young once again. Definitely he gets an A. You can't deny that. Next up, Josh Hader. Now, Hader had a very interesting first half. From April to June, he was the best reliever in baseball. But then came July, and things really became crashing down for him. He allowed runs in 5 of 7 appearances, including allowing 2 walk-off home runs, which was 9 total ERAs, and that obviously bumped his ERA to like 4.50. And obviously he is still one of the best relievers in baseball, and I believe he'll get back on track, hopefully. So I think he's going to find his groove. So I'm going to give him a B+, because of how he was the first half of the season. But because he struggled, that's what got him down. But, I think we'll see some more from him later on. Next up, Keston Hiura. Now, normally, I wouldn't be, as I said, I wasn't going to give grades on people that are minor league players, but realistically, he shouldn't really be in minor league at all. He is mismanaged by Craig Counsell. I think I can say this again for anybody who watches baseball. This guy should be starting against right-hand pitchers, not left-hand pitchers. He is terrible. After that terrible 21 season, his OPS and against right-hand pitchers is like 1 miles per hour than the rest of the team, yet 66 of his 102 at-bats have come against righties. On defense, he has done a nice job at first, okay at second, but actually he's surprisingly at left field. However, they keep making him a minor leaguer. I don't know why, but it's unfortunate that that's what it is. I don't want to see him in the minor league system anymore. It's either you bring him up and play him in the right situations or just trade him. With that, I'm going to give him a B because it's being mismanaged, but I know he is a lot better than what you see. I guarantee if he goes on another team, he's hitting like 30 home runs. That's my prediction. I say he might be traded. That's my personal idea. Next up, Adrian Hauser. He is currently on the IL, dealing with an injury. However, he was off to a good start this season, and then he started to lose his feel and just completely rose his ERA to almost 5. Then he hit the IL. He had some elbow inflammation, and obviously, they needed him, and with Peralta's injury, obviously, I think the crew needs the old Hauser down the stretch. Now, I don't know when he'll be back or if he'll be back because we have a pretty deep rotation right now, and I think Freddie Peralta is going to be back soon, so that's some good news. But obviously, Hauser's going to get a C- because it just hasn't really been that good. Next up, Eric Lauer. Now, Lauer got off to a really hot start this year. He posted a 2.49 ERA through May, and then he hit a little slump in June, and now he's starting to get back on track. Thankfully, his ERA has been about 2, I'd say, so far. But remember, if you remember Eric Lauer last year, he started bad, and then all of a sudden he just became really good in the second half of the season. So I'm going to expect a lot of dominance from him. I'll give him a B. That's just my prediction. Next up, Andrew McCutchen. Now, right now, he's actually our best hitter on the team, but that wasn't the case at the beginning of the season. He was doing so bad. His OPS was below 600. And, yeah, he's bounced back. He's done some things, but obviously injuries. He's had to play in the outfield due to injuries and people getting injured. And obviously I think we're going to see a lot of better production from him in the second half. I think we're starting to see him really pick up the pieces and start to play a lot better. But if I had to really grade him on the first half of the season, I just give him a straight C, just because his defense just hasn't been there, and he was just so bad at the first start of the season. Now I think he's starting to really pick up and do that. And then next, Omar Narvaez. I'm not expecting much out of him because he is splitting time with Victor Caratini, and I have no idea how Pedro Severino is still on the team, but yeah, he is. I'll give him a B-. Now he's starting to really not do much, but I guess he's doing his job. And he has no hits really at the last couple of games, so I feel like we're going to get to see more Caratini down the stretch. I think Caratini will make more starts in the second half of the season, or Narvaez will start to struggle like he normally does. So I'll give him maybe about a B-. That's just my opinion. Next up, we have... Sorry, I'm trying to get my stats up. Oh, Jace Peterson. Now, of course, we heard the news. Now, Jace Peterson will not be probably available to the end of August due to some elbow inflammation, which kind of sucks. But he has been the glue holding the crew together this season. He's played fantastic defense at every position. He's been asked to play, most likely third base is his position. He played a lot of it with Luis Urias' injury at the start of the season. He hits power, he takes walks, he's on-base chase, and he fights and does whatever you need. Crazy that I'm going to give him an A- because of this, but he's doing what you need to do. Get better soon, Jace. We need you. Next up, Hunter Renfroe. Well, if you haven't seen him the last couple of games, woof, he has hit 4 home runs in the last 6 games or something like that. Pretty crazy. He is hitting a lot of nukes. That's like 17 home runs, and his average is really good, and he's definitely one of the best hitters on the team. I think they're going to kind of try to keep him at the 5th or the 6th spot. Of course, the only thing that obviously why I'm going to give him a little lower than what he should be is because of his injuries. He hasn't been healthy this season, and that's been a huge problem. And I think the second half of the season, as we already are seeing right now, he is looking pretty hot. I'm going to give him a B just because of the injuries, but obviously I definitely think he should be higher. Next up, Tyrone Taylor. I guess Tyrone Taylor's been put in some sort of a role that tries to make him look like he's going to be a future star of this team, but he's not. And that's what I don't understand. He had a really tough start to the season. Then he got like really hot, and then he's slumping again, and now you sit there and you're like, what do you think of it? So honestly, I don't know what'll happen, but I think he'll be back on track a little bit. I'll give him a C+, just because he had a rocky, but I think obviously he's going to get a lot more starts at center field. I don't know if his defense is that fantastic, which is why I think they're still keeping around Jonathan Davis, because his defense is fantastic. But I guess Taylor is a guy that I think can play better than what we've seen. Next up, we have Rowdy Tellez. Well, so far, this guy has really been putting in so much for this team. I mean, he is the workhorse. He's destined to do so much for this team, and he's been a victim to poor batted ball. Poor batted ball luck. That's the best way I could say it. Well, his OPS went down in this last month, which is the only thing I can say, but I guess he had a good performance today. I think he hit like 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. But I think his luck will start to come back his way. I think we remember him in the second half of the season for the player that he became. So I'll give him a B. I feel like we could see more of him later. Next up, Luis Urias. He has really struggled this season. Okay, and the last couple of games, he's actually started to hit the ball a little more, which is good, and that's what you want to see out of him. But it's just been a really underwhelming season for him. And, you know, he had a nice start, and then it went down, and he was just hitting terrible in June, and now he's starting to hit the ball really well. And like I said, he is the MVS of this team. I've said that for years. Luis Urias, you know, I got to give him a straight C. I mean, I know I could see more out of him, and we're seeing it, so hopefully he does better. Next up, Devin Williams. So far, our best reliever on the team this year. He gets an A. Even though he had a shaky start to the season, just like he did last year, he has dialed in his control. And now he actually made the All-Star game, which he deserved. And he actually has not allowed an earned run since May 10th. That would be 26 scoreless outings in a row. Now, actually, if you count, actually more, I think that's more than that. 28. I'll say about 28, 29, something about that. I don't know. It was around there. But I think we're going to see a lot more of Devin Williams' dominance, and I'm so happy that we're seeing that out of him. Next up, Colton Wong. He was so good last year. I don't know what's going on with him this year. It's just, he had a tough go. He's regressed on offense. He's regressed on defense. He's struggled. I don't know what's going on. He's starting to maybe hit the ball a little bit more. But I guess I don't think there's no chance the crew picks up his option. I feel like this will probably be the last of Colton Wong. You might even see him get traded, but I don't think so. But hopefully he starts to get his act together. I'll give him a C-. I'm sorry, Colton, but you're just been really disappointing this year. I expect more. Next up, Brandon Woodruff, or I like to call the Big Woo. Woodruff's season has been a mixed bag. Well, if we're talking about that, he really started bad this season. And then, I mean, his in the month of May, he was like 474, and he actually had to leave his final start that month early, and he got some ankle injury. And then after a month, he started figuring things out. And ever since coming out the IL, he's only allowed 6 earned runs. And I think that is the Woodruff that we know. If we see this Woodruff, I think that's a great thing. Also, he had Raynaud's syndrome, which caused some problems in his throwing hand. He had to get some rehab on that. But if we see this Woodruff, I think he'll do a lot better. I think we're starting to see Woodruff really come into his own. I'm happy for where we're going at with him. And then finally, none other than the former MVP, Christian Yelich. Now, last year, he just sucked. This year, there's really I can't really sit there and judge Yelich because he's been put into this new role that's actually making him do better. He's not the MVP that he once was, and he's not playing bad. He's not playing below average. And yeah, it's a little disappointing because you really want him to be the player that he is. However, his OPS, is alright. It's just like a 790. His defense, he's been slacking. I can say that. But, yeah, I mean, he's never been that good of a defender. We know that. But I guess he's been okay this season. I'm not going to sit there and say he's been great. However, he's been put into a role. He actually leads the team with hits. I hope he get more home runs and RBIs, but I think, certainly I would have expected more, but I want to see more in the future. I'll give him a B-, but I'm so happy that he's doing better this season. I mean, now he's a leadoff, and ever since he's been leadoff, he's been like batting over 350, 300 or something. So that's a good thing. I mean, ever since he's been leadoff, he's actually hitting the ball. So that's a good sign. And hopefully he really succumbs to his role. I think, yeah, I get he's 30 years old. I don't think he'll ever be the same player again. But I mean, I'll give him a straight up B-. Hopefully we'll see him become a good role player for the Brewers this season. Of course, and also I have to give my condolences to Lorenzo Cain. I will miss you, of course. Sucks that he's no longer a Brewer, but it is what it is. Things have to happen. So that's that. So anyways, if you like what you see, comment below, subscribe with your thoughts, and as always, we got 2 more months of baseball left to go before October baseball. Currently, the Brewers are in first place in the division, which is a definitely great thing to be in. I think they're like 2 games ahead of the Cardinals right now, which is good. We do have the harder schedule comparing to the Cardinals, but we'll see what happens. We're known to have a better second half of the season, but I think it's going to be a very close race between us and St. Louis to see who wins the division, because our division isn't that good, really. The Reds, they're playing better, but they're still not going to do much. The Pirates are likely going to rebuild. The Cubs are probably trading Wilson Contreras and Ian Happ. You know, it's going to be a rebuild for them. So, obviously, we have to figure out some moves, and I'll be coming with a video soon talking about the people that the Brewers should trade for, because the trade deadline is coming up very soon. So, of course, lots of things to talk about then. So, as always, it's your man Clyde Boy Bales. If you like this content, subscribe for more, and as always, let's go Brewers. We will see you next time.